Hi there.
And welcome to Podro Pascal, the Pedro Pascal podcast. I am one half of your hosts.
And I'm the other half of your hosts. What's your
That was
name?
Catrina Dennis.
Oops.
And I'm Rachel Leash. Guys, can you tell this has been a long season?
We were not rehearsed for this season. It was, this season was something, wasn't it? We did a lot of recaps. We did a lot of episodes. It's been crazy. Wild.
And we've been in the room with the man himself multiple times.
Yep.
Last season, I think it only happened once.
Goodness.
And that was with also hundreds of thousands of other people at Star Wars Celebration. But that one time.
We're getting slightly closer with every season, folks. That's why you keep coming back.
I was closest
Mm-hmm.
at King Lear. And I just didn't speak to the man, and I had all the options to do it. I forget about King Lear a lot. That's why I'm bringing this up now, because my brain had told myself when we saw him at Star Wars Celebration that was the first time I had seen him, and that was a bold-faced lie. Because I saw
Mm-hmm.
King Lear. I saw the scene that you only talk about if you saw King Lear. For those of you who didn't, you don't get to enjoy that scene. Sorry. I saw that play, which is long after having seen Avengers Endgame for work earlier that day. So
Wow.
happy birthday, William Shakespeare. Actually, it was 2019, right? So it was like 4 years ago yesterday. Yeah.
Wow.
Shakespeare's birthday.
Oh my goodness. Gosh, well, what an anniversary. We're celebrating all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, yesterday, as of this recording, which is almost midnight on April 24th, but I saw King Lear 4 years ago yesterday. Happy King Lear anniversary.
Lear anniversary.
There's so many things about that show that I just wish people had seen it so we could talk about it. Anyways, it's not the point of this. This is the wrap up for season 2. Catrina, how have you been? Tell the people what's going on in your life.
Oh man, I have been so flippin' busy. My day job has been very busy, and then in case you didn't notice, I really did try to blur out the background, but it was so obvious that there were boxes everywhere that I was just like, whatever, it's a set now. So I'm in the process of moving. And yeah, it's been super wild, and I just can't wait for it to be next week, but I am savoring these last moments of this season because, oh man, it's been a wild ride.
It has. So we started this season. Though, yeah, you guys, I know Ashley was on Twitter. She was teasing things. She was like, well, big news coming. Y'all are going to have to wait because we got some shit to say. And also, producer Ashley, I want you to put in the chat exactly what you want me to say so I know. And so everyone listening, you can wait until the end when I can check that chat. Tell me what I have to say. But this season started, surprisingly enough, I was convinced it was Triple Frontier, but we were alerted before this started that this season actually started with the Book of Boba Fett when Din and his little hips appeared.
Moseying back onto the scene.
I know that it is not Pedro Pascal in the suit 90% of the time, but they managed to get his hips because for some reason I can figure out that man's hips and how he walks, which sounds weird. I recognize this, but I think it's because listen, both Ashley and Catrina know I've been thinking about Narcos all day today, and I can't stop. But Javier Pena, he has his little hands, his hips, and so it's like ever since I watched that, I'm like I can spot his hips. And it's weird. I recognize this. Pedro, if you listen to this one episode, I'm begging you to just not listen to this part.
Yeah.
Of all the episodes, anyone who knows him, don't tell him I said I can recognize his hips. That's weird. You can blame Javier Pena for it. But this all has a point. In the Book of Boba Fett, the minute you can see him, because he enters, if I remember correctly, he enters behind that like plastic, like I'm going into a kitchen freezer thing, and you see little hips. I was like,
he's just doing his sassy little walk back onto the scene. I just love it.
Much like Indiana Jones, Din Djarin knows how to make a fucking entrance. It's my favorite thing about Indiana Jones. Every single movie, the first time you see Indy, he's fucking doing something. And Din is kind of similar. Not like obviously not every episode, but like at the start of every season, Din Djarin is like opening up fucking doors. like he's the only person that matters in the
He's just
world.
opening up doors.
Just open up a
That's
lot
what
of
he
doors.
does most of the time.
He's just
He
like, whoosh,
takes
it's
care of
me.
his son and opens up some doors.
Yeah, and then is the dumbest person on the planet. Anyways, but yeah, point being, that's where the season started. Season started in that freezer, and then we've gone through 2 full seasons of television shows. We hit the Great Wall, which okay, him and Matt Damon are being reunited.
Yep.
So we predicted the future, I guess. By covering
What can I say?
by covering the Great Wall. In what year was that? 2023 or no? That had to be 2022. This season's been a whole year?
It's been long. I think. Oh man, hold on. I would need to go check at least
Because
our
Book of
YouTube
Boba
channel.
Fett was 2021.
Right.
We like did a whole little. Well, it was
It was a
2021 it
really long
premiered, but
season.
it's been over a year.
This was a year ago. Yeah, it was January 27th, 2022 when we started this season.
Guys, you've had to listen to this. To be fair, this bitch was busy. If we had not had The Last of Us and Mando back to back, we would have ended this season in like whenever we felt like it. But we kept chatting, we kept checking in. Every once in a while, we'd have an episode because then The Last of Us and Mando was just back to back coverage. We nailed it, killed it, got a bunch of you listening to us. Tricked you.
Surprise!
Surprise, we
Now
tricked
you're
you.
stuck with us forever.
Yeah, you think this month is gonna feel like forever? Wait until you are with us for forever. As long as that man's working, we're working.
Yep, we're here all the time.
Hey, Pedro, you can't stop working because what do we have?
Yeah.
But anywho's, yeah, we had Hannah come on for the Great Wall. We had Candace come on finally to talk about the cursed Wonder Woman pilot. Listen, I can say that. I just want to show the world my Wonder Woman ring. If I can get it in camera, I can say it was
I
a
have
cursed.
that one too.
My brother, this is one of the first. I'm going on. Hey, I'm going on a tangent.
Tangent.
One of the first gifts. My brother has bought me a great many gifts throughout my lifetime. I'm in my 30s and he's 10 years older than me. But one of the first gifts that he ever bought me that I was like, oh, he actually does understand the things I like is I like specific rings, but like sometimes I like big chunky rings, but I like rings is my point. And my brother was like, Rachel likes rings. Her favorite hero in the DC world is Wonder Woman. I'm gonna buy her this ring. It does not fit because I have big fingers for my small hand. So it sits like here when I wear it, but
Aw.
it is my diadem, and it was one of the first things I opened and was like, oh wow, like my brother does understand little things about me because he bought me my diadem. And that's why I have it's kind of blocked right now, but that's why I have my Wonder Woman star because I thought I lost this.
Oh.
Found it, but I had already got my star on this wrist because of this. Anyways, we did the Wonder Woman episode.
That was a tangent. It's good. It counted. We got one in.
We got one in it. We did Boba, Great Wall, Wonder Woman, The Bubble. Remember that movie?
That was something.
And I'm sorry if the child who was near me and Ashley at SNL is now listening to this episode, but I will truly and honestly never forget this. We were all waiting to go in. Anxiety was high. Everyone was like, the tension was through the roof. Everyone was like, oh man, am I going to get in? Blah, blah. Meanwhile, I've done SNL before. I was like, we're pretty safe where we are. But I wasn't getting any hopes up. I just was like, further back than I've been before, but I still think we're relatively safe. This child in this, and I know she was a child because I think she said she was like 17. This child, when we were in line, said out loud, and I will never forget it because I was like, I was older than you when I figured out who Pedro Pascal was, and I had already seen him in shit when I was younger than this girl, but that was like in 2008. Anyways, she goes, I don't understand. I should be able to get in. I should get in. I'm one of his biggest fans. I've loved him for forever. I've loved him since before the bubble. Like I had to wait for the bubble, and I was standing there. I saw this man on Game of Thrones as it aired, and I sat there and I was just like, I'm gonna jump off this staircase and plummet to my death because this child said, I have been a fan since right before the bubble.
It's so interesting though. Like, okay, one, yes, that's totally infuriating, but it's also just like so wild to because this isn't a very old fandom. Like, I would say that there's maybe been a Pedro Pascal fandom proper for like maybe a little over a decade. And I feel like a lot of us came in during the Game of Thrones wave, but now I'm thinking about it like Star Wars. Like, who are the prequel fans of Pedro Pascal? Like, are they the bubble era, I would say, right? Like Game of
No,
Thrones
I
is
would
like the
say
original trilogy. Buffy
yes.
is
Game of
like
Thrones is
American Graffiti.
no. Let me
Hmm.
explain this in Star Wars lingo. I got
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Game of Thrones, or here, I'll go back a little bit even further.
Mm.
Game of Thrones is the Return of the Jedi. So if
Okay.
you came in at Return of the Jedi, like great. We mentioned Hannah. Hannah was a fan of his from his theater work. I would say
Mhm.
that's you saw New Hope in theaters
Mhm.
and you were like, "This is cool. I'm coming back." That's that.
Right, right.
Graceland, which I watched, but granted, I love Aaron Devane. So sorry, Pedro Pascal. I was not looking at you in that show. I watched Graceland. I was not looking at him. But you knew him from Graceland, which like once I looked up how the hot man from Game of Thrones, I was like, oh shit, that guy. So I consider myself in the Empire-ish. That's Empire.
Mhm. Mhm.
Or like the little bit roles and Graceland and all that kind of stuff. Return of the Jedi or
Mhm.
the Game of Thrones.
Right, right, right.
Kitties.
Okay.
Then you have what I guess would be the re-releases. When the fans
Mm.
came in for the re-releases, that's Kingsman. That
Right.
is everything in like
Mhm.
that era where you were like, oh, well, who's this guy? What are these? That's the re-releases, which
Mhm. When back when we were
just that
calling for
era.
movies, just like cast Pedro Pascal and more stuff, and now
Yes.
it's like you can't get
That's the
enough.
re-releases. The prequels is Mando.
Okay. Okay.
Mando, I think Mando covers all the prequels because we are now going into the sequel trilogy.
Mhm.
I
That's
would even
true.
say, you know what? I'll give this to the prequels. I am a prequel girl. I'll give this to the prequels. I'll give it to Unbearable Weight because if you watched Mando, you were like, this guy's hot. Who was he? And
Mhm.
maybe Narcos also is in the re-releases.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
FYI, just to be clear, Kingsman and Narcos re-releases because if you went, you were like, this is such a cool experience. Which is if you watch Narcos, you get it. You
Mhm.
get it. Husband Javier Pena, fictional Javier. Yeah, just to
Mhm.
be clear. Anyways, back to my analogy of or actually Katrina's analogy that I've nailed
It's
the
perfect.
timeline. So we did the re-releases. The prequels are Mando, Bubble, Unbearable Weight. Those. And like, sure, your Equalizer 2 is in there. You
Mhm.
got like a little, you got We Can Be Heroes in there. We got Wonder Woman 1984 in there. You have things that, like, if you're in it at that time, you're like, okay, I'm watching all this. So that, like, all of those are part of the prequel era. That's your Hayden Christensen photo shoot where he's next to like a broken down car from GQ from 2003. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying?
Right, right.
The sequel trilogy. Now
Mhm.
here's the sequel trilogy. It starts with The Last of Us because he went from like, oh yeah, that guy's hot, sure. Who's this guy? To people who weren't already in that first chunk that I explained,
Right.
to like the whole daddy gate that
Right.
went down. Today
Mhm.
I did call him baby daddy girl because work was trying to understand baby girls. And so I just
Wow.
like, well, this is him. And this my one coworker said, you should write up a piece. And I was like, I'm good. I'm just letting you know that this is like,
Yeah, there are some fights that I'm just like, I'm not ready. I'm not God's strongest warrior here. I'm gonna sit it out.
I was like, just letting you know that is what I would dub him, but like also Daddy Gate. But I think Joel kind of kicked off the sequel era. And then you could count Nando season 3 because people were just like already on the Pedro train. They were rolling with it.
Mhm.
And then obviously this was the Force Awakens, I think.
Right.
So we're heading into The Last Jedi with
Mhm.
things like the Ethan Hawke, I Love You, Smooching Cowboys,
Mhm.
Strange Way of Life. I couldn't think of the title for a second. Um,
I
I
love
was
you,
like,
Smooching Cowboys. New T-shirt idea.
Ethan Hawke, Smooching, I Love You, Cowboys. Yeah, you know what? Make it a shirt, Ashley, so that I can buy it and I
So
will wear it. I
that's
love you,
that's what we're
Smooching
gonna
Cowboys.
we're gonna wear to the premiere.
Can you put in quotations Pedro Pascal? Just so like his name is also on this shirt. I don't want the people to be like, shouldn't even mention him. This is a Pedro Pascal podcast. So it's inherent in the
Mhm.
podcast. Anyway, but the Ethan Hawke and Pedro Pascal, I Love You Smooching Cowboys movie is the start of The Last Jedi. Ryan Johnson, if you're getting ideas about casting Pedro Pascal in Knives Out, great. That's my point. Anyways, we're about to head into the Last Jedi era. That was my explanation of your point that you made, Catrina. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was a very good timeline. I think that defines a lot for me, and I appreciate your ideation and time on it because that was great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
You were saying it, and I was like, I got it. You put the wheels turning, and I was like, I can do this. I can
do this. Make a graphic for that. We'll do that later.
But do it like the Marvel, like the timeline is broken.
Oh, the Marvel type. Yeah. I like it. That's good.
The one from Loki.
Original era, sequel trilogy era, etc.
Re-releases. You can't forget the re-releases.
Right.
The re-releases. Got the Kingsman Golden Circle. I owe my life to that movie. Literally. Anyways, so yeah. How did we get here? I'm bare. Right. How did we get here?
We went somewhere real fast.
But yeah, there's been a whole year of content and things that this man has done and worked on that we have talked about. And obviously Ashley and I went to Jimmy Fallon and SNL. Catrina went to the premiere of Mando. Catrina and Ashley went to Paley Fest.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Paley Fest at all?
No, we have not talked about Paley Fest yet. We can do that.
Yeah, Katrina, take it
away. We went to Paley Fest a couple weeks ago. That was super cool. Our friend of the podcast, Ashley, invited us, and we were super lucky to sit in on the Mandalorian panel. I think it was the like third to last episode that we watched, and it was really nice and cool. And then we sat down and the cast came out. So Katie Sackhoff was there, Pedro was there, Rick Famuyiwa was there along with Dave and John, and this was like the week before Celebration. So Dave spent like most of the panel just like sweating in his chair, trying not to reveal stuff that would otherwise be talked about at Celebration. So it was a really cool night, and we got to meet our friends at Podro Pascal, Brazil, and that was really cool. And we had a really, really good dinner right before it. So I just remember being like full and happy and getting to watch Mando in a theater with 3,000 people. Like, I feel super lucky because of this year and how often I have gotten to sit in a theater full of Star Wars fans watching a Star Wars like presentation. So yeah, it's always amazing.
I'm pointing down like anyone watching this on YouTube can see.
When did he? Oh man, I think I blanked that out. What did he? Oh right, when I was like,
you made Chile.
You make Chile proud, and he's like, "Viva Chile!" That's right. I was like, oh yeah. It feels like a fever dream. And like after that, we went over I went to Scum and Villainy and got some drinks with our friends at Podro Pascal, Brazil, and yeah, it was a super cool night, and I'm really glad we got to go. And I waved the T-shirt around that says Podro Pascal as seen on Vanity Fair, so hopefully he saw that.
It is truly and honestly a miracle that we have ended this season and Ashley did not launch one of those buttons at it. Because I do listen. We've talked about it. Ashley just said soon. We talked about it a lot, but I need to make it clear how terrified I was she was actually going to throw that button at SNL, because we were in like the rowdiest section I've like. First of all, it is a live show. The whole point is that you kind of gotta like. It's a live show. Granted, I have a very distinct laugh, so I know when we went to Jimmy Fallon, people were like, I heard Rachel laughing, because I was like, yeah, I get it. My laugh is very distinct and loud. When I think something's funny, I like loudly cackle or wheeze like an old man. And when I'm in a big space, it's normally a cackle. SNL, you can normally hear me laughing, and you can normally, and like when I've gone to SNL now all three times, you can hear me laughing all three times. Same thing with Fallon. I said loud laugh. That is not that stuff. That's just par for the course. We were in the fucking cheer squad section who didn't realize like you can't talk through the sketches because they're recording it live. And so I had a headache. We were tired and we had to sit there for a minute. And Ashley was just like, what if I just threw it at him?
Oh my God.
And I thought she was going to. And then the button has just become a bit over and over and over again. And so I sincerely thought maybe she will. Didn't happen though. So season 3,
Who knows?
Pedro Pascal, if you're listening to this, remember, skip the hip bit. But if you come on this podcast, you have to come into a room where Ashley can physically throw something at you just because.
We just keep adding things to the contract.
Yeah. Up until like last year, we thought it was busy because it was like the bubble, the unbearable weight of massive talents were like sort of one after the other. However, nothing would have prepared us for the January to last week of 2023. We did Triple Frontier again, which, spoiler alert, season 3 might be starting with a classic, but
why not?
We will get a guest. Here's what we'll say. If you're listening to this, friends, pitch why you should be our guest for Triple Frontier. I'm just kidding, but we will get a guest for Triple Frontier. Catrina did just have a really good idea. She's in our chat. Katrina, why don't you say?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I just kind of threw it out there. I was thinking if our listeners are down, perhaps we could have some kind of watch along for Triple Frontier. We'll see, because I think that would be cool. Either we do it live, or we could do a live tweet if Twitter's still around.
We'll workshop it. We'll let you know on the socials what we're gonna do. But please know we will be doing Triple Frontier in season 3.
Yes.
All that to say, we will be doing that in season 3. But we had a lot of great episodes. We got to do a lot of cool things this year. But that doesn't mean that's all. We're going to keep on trucking.
Oh, yes.
As of the airing of this podcast episode, our Vanity Fair interview has turned 1 year old. And by our interview, I mean our lovely friend of the pod, Adam Lance Garcia, was so gracious when he was doing the lie detector test with Vanity Fair. And so in one of the questions, he had the person ask, while Pedro Pascal was on the lie detector, have you listened to Podro Pascal? And he said, no, but I will.
Have you ever listened to Podro Pascal, the podcast all about Pedro Pascal?
No, but I will.
We don't know. The lie detector hasn't come back. So we don't know if he has listened.
That's the great mystery of our podcast.
Whether or not he listened, or he was like,
who knows?
He at least knows we exist, which is great. Hey, buddy, if you want to hit that follow back or say anything to us, that'd be nice. But because it is the year anniversary, we are going to do a giveaway. Our lovely producer, Ashley, works so hard, making things very cool for our listeners. I don't want to call listeners fans. I don't know if you consider us someone to fan over. So you're our fun listeners and friends.
Yeah, I like listeners.
You're our fun listeners and friends. The anniversary giveaway is going on Instagram. In it, there is a Hey Mando shirt of your size, not just any size, your size, from Alyssa Maria G with a matching sticker. You get a Joel Mando crossover print from Just Ralphie, which I'm jealous of because I love Just Ralphie. I love all that stuff that he's done for both Mando and The Last of Us, because Last of Us stuff is beautiful. And some Pedro Mando goodies from producer Ashley. And all you gotta do is you gotta follow on Instagram with bonus entries if you follow us on Twitter and subscribe to us on YouTube. And it is a worldwide thing. So no matter where you are, it'll be shipped to you.
Worldwide.
And you can see the post on Instagram tomorrow with more details. I guess today you will see it on Instagram. I'm recording it the day before, but you can go to our Instagram and see the post for more info and the rules and all that kind of stuff. But that is a fun little giveaway we're doing.
Yay!
In the meantime of our break, because Katrina and I need a break.
Yes. Yeah, we need to take a break and rest and move and do all of these other things, because when season 3 comes back, Pedro will be putting out a lot of work again, which means we in turn will be putting out a lot of work.
Yes, we have so much coming up, because starting as soon as next month, there's Ethan Hawke, Pedro Pascal, I Love You, Smooching Cowboys.
I love it.
Ethan Hawke, Pedro Pascal, I Love You, Smooching Cowboys.
I want it on a bumper sticker.
Katrina, who does not drive.
Yeah, I don't drive, but
just put it on cars. Just walk up to cars and be like, "This is for you." Pedro Pascal, I Love You, Smooching Cowboys.
if you guys just see all of that stuff popping up in the next convention lot, I don't know, what is it, Celebration Japan? Watch out, Japanese cars. I'm boom, everywhere.
Just whoosh.
Yep.
But yeah, so look out for those bumper stickers and t-shirt. Yeah, we have a lot coming up. We're taking a small break. We'll be back in mid-June, which is, not that long from now. And we'll come back with more episodes, new guests. Hopefully Pedro Pascal gets his shit together. What are you doing with your free time, buddy?
Come on, dude. Yeah.
Nothing
what
of
are you
importance,
doing?
not filming 20 fucking projects when you could
Just
come
come on
to
the
us.
podcast. Just show up.
You could come and check in every season and be like, how y'all doing? And we'll be like, sup. And then we will be like, how you doing? And you'll go, good. And then you can leave for all I care. But just we'll have a little check-in.
Yeah.
That's all I'm pitching.
He's just got to be like that guest star, like that omnipresent voice. Like we're the Power Rangers, and he's like,
Oh, we
Going
went two different ways. You said omnipresent voice, and I was like Dan Harmon now, or not Dan Harmon. Jesus Christ, Daryl is now on SNL, where he's the voice of Don Perro.
oh,
Like they just replaced Don Perro
wow.
with Daryl Hammond, or he's Charlie.
Oh, he's Charlie. He's like on the radio, like, hey, this is the real Pedro Pascal. Who's for real? Really guy, real. It's really him. Hi. Hi, lady.
I was trying to do one eyebrow. It wasn't working. I was like,
Yes. That's all we need. Just like we can set up a walkie-talkie system and figure it out from there.
like I was doing. Hold on, I'll show you guys what I was doing earlier. Actually, I told Catrina and Ashley that I have just not stopped thinking about Narcos. So I was like, how fast do you think we'll get in trouble if I was just like on my phone? That was 3 seconds. We're not getting in trouble for 3 seconds.
So much trouble for this. If our podcast disappears, Rachel,
For the 3 seconds I've played of
Yeah.
the Narcos theme song.
it's canceled forever.
Anyways, but we could do that. You could call me.
Yes.
You can use, I don't know, there's fake numbers. You can call me through a landline for all I care. But I will just go like this, and then we'll check in, and we'll go, okay, goodbye. And I'll put the phone down. These are great options, sir. So
just have like a big red phone sitting next to either of us.
no, a cheeseburger phone.
Whenever Mr. Pascal decides to call, we'll be here next to our cheeseburger
A
phone.
cheeseburger phone. Someone who knows him is gonna be like messaging us like, guys, great final episode of the season. We'll be like, don't show him that one. Show him literally, I don't know, we've had
Like
show him
whatever.
only
Yeah.
what? We've had good
Whatever,
episodes.
like recaps or a triple frontier. I think those are like the best ones. Anyway.
No, I think I talk about reading Frankie Morales fan fiction in the Frontier ones. You can't be doing that. I'm obsessed with Frankie Morales. Catfish is up there. I know people who were like, oh my god, Joel Miller. No, listen, Frankie beats them all.
Mm-hmm.
If I could marry Frankie Catfish Morales, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Problems and all. He doesn't have a pilot's license. No problem. We'll figure it out.
Father. That's he's got that
Yeah,
going.
he's a father. That,
Mhm.
yeah, we for sure talked about fanfic because I talked about how I get mad when everyone ignores the fact that he's as a kid. He says it. He's like, I got a kid now, man. Anyways, I'm on my triple frontier box. That's your preview for season 3.
Get ready for season 3, kids. It's gonna be great.
Triple frontier. All right. Anyways, check out our giveaway. Go back, re-listen to your favorite episodes. Tell us which ones were your favorite. If you didn't like one, I don't care. And
That's all.
don't tell us. I don't care.
Don't care.
One person when I went to Star Wars Celebration hated my work videos, and another person was like, "You're so pretty," and I was like, "Thank you so much." So, I only care about the "You're so pretty" comments.
Yes.
I don't
Those
care
are
if
the
you don't
important
like
ones.
me. Anyways, Catrina, final thoughts on season 2 that has been over a year of our lives.
It sure was a long season. I think we went through like 2 celebrations during this season. because we went to Anaheim together and then you went to England.
Mhm.
Like, we've done 2 Star Wars celebrations. I've done multiple Star Wars premieres. Like, we have both done different events and shows and all this other stuff just for this
Jesus, I
awesome
did the
podcast.
Andor junket. There was a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot. And you know, like I feel nervous about like living up to the greatness of this season and season 3. Like I gotta pull a real Return of the Jedi with this one. It's a lot of pressure.
We're not Rise of Skywalkering this. We're
No, we're
Return
not
of
gonna
the
do
Jedi.
that.
We're Revenge of the Sithing. We're
Yes.
being the best of the trilogy.
Yes, always the
Yeah, I
best.
said
So-
it. I said Return of the Jedi is the best of the
I'm-
trilogy, and I meant it.
I'm like really excited for season 3. I think we've done a lot of really cool stuff. A lot of really cool people started listening to our podcast this season, and I'm really thankful for all of it. So hopefully in season 3 we can give you even more of the good stuff you come here for.
Yeah.
This is really important.
Stash, 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 stash. The stash on everybody's lips is gonna be Pedro's.
Yeah.
Welcome to Stash of the Week, where we provide you with our favorite mustaches of Podro Pascal's.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a general little roundup, so it's not themed, it's not recent.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go first, because I have been on a Narcos kick.
Woo! Have a stash.
So I said, Javi.
Mm-hmm.
And
Understandable.
Ashley also helped me. I can do this. Ashley also helped me make this my phone background.
Fabulous.
Sorry to Chris Evans. You have been usurped by Javier Pena. But I picked Javi because I have a feeling I'm gonna rewatch all of Narcos, and that's fine. That's where I'm at.
Summer's here. Things are getting hotter. Narcos is appropriate. I have also picked a yellow outfit. This particular stash, trophy stash.
I feel
his,
like we used the same Lakers picture.
There's like a GQ article about this shirt, by the way, that I found while looking for this image, and like it's about how valuable it is, and he just like throws it on and like goes and gets coffee and stuff.
Oh, I wish it wasn't that expensive. I was just thinking, oh, we should all get them and wear them.
Apparently, it's super
Because-
vintage.
Well, I'm not fucking paying that.
It's very easy to find a yellow Lakers shirt. We can find some. We'll figure
What?
it out.
It's easy to find a yellow Lakers.
Okay, we should get out of here before you die. Oh,
Ashley, did you provide me just 2 Javi mustaches, or was this mine and the other one was yours? She said, I mean. I went to cough and was laughing at the same time. That was a crazy noise. Anyways, this is Ashley and I guess both went Javier Pena.
valid.
I miss this look. Anyway. Yeah, you want the definition of a baby girl? There you go.
Mm-hmm. That's him. The
I
baby
can use.
girl.
Listen, before I wrap this up, I have one little soapbox to say about Narcos, which I could say for season 3, but I'm staying now because I remember it. Every single time I see that thing that is like, sex scenes are pointless. No sex scene has furthered the plot. Incorrect. Narcos uses sex scenes to further character development throughout that entire show, and it is a fascinating look into how you can use a sex scene to explore a character and where their mindset is. And I think no one takes me seriously when I say this on Twitter. It's dying anyway. But I am correct. Because if you look at Javier Pena and how those sex scenes color where he is mentally, it's crazy. Because you're like the scene in season 2, you're like, I know exactly what's going on in this man's head. That's brilliant. This is brilliant filmmaking. Whatever. That was my other soapbox is Javier Pena is also baby girl. Anyways.
It's true. I mean, I can't argue with you on that. It's very true.
Anyways, this is a great chaotic episode for us, as always.
Love us. So wonderful.
Catrina, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me anywhere on the internet if you look for Catrina. That's OHCATRINA. I'm just doing a whole bunch of stuff now. So after the move, just keep an eye on my socials and I will tell you what I'm doing. What about you, Rachel?
You can follow me at Rachel Leishman on Twitter while it lasts. At Rachel _ on Instagram. You can see my work at the Mary Sue Collider, and I also have the Fordcast, a Harrison Ford podcast, which talking about Harrison Ford because I love a man with this gruff little vibe. And yeah, you can follow Podro Pascal everywhere, and make sure you subscribe to us on Twitter. Like, rate, review. Like I said, subscribe, tweet, tag your friends. Tell Pedro Pascal we're waiting. My number is 6. No, I'm just kidding. Not giving anyone my number. But you can email us at pedropascalpod@gmail.com. Sir. Anyways, yeah. And guys, this is the end of season 2.
Yep, that's a wrap on season 2. We'll be back in mid-June for season 3, and yeah, I think there's only one thing left to say.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.